In a matter dating back to March 7, 2014, a 9-member jury has found 37-year-old Hayden Phillip not guilty of the indictable charges, which stemmed from an incident that allegedly occurred in Caliste, St. George. After 9 long years of waiting, his 3-day trial finally concluded before High Court Judge Madame Justice Paula Guilford at the St. George's No. 1 High Court on Tuesday. Phillip was represented in court pro bono by attorney George Prime, who has a history of providing legal defense, resulting in the exoneration of individuals accused of similar crimes.
It's a matter for the jury. The jury found him not guilty on both counts, so I can't ask anything more. This young man says that he was innocent from the beginning of the allegations. He professed his innocence from the beginning up to the end. He gave an unsworn statement in the court, and he was found not guilty in respect of both offenses. So he was on the side of justice, and I believe the jury was also clear as to the issues that have risen in the case.
The Crown called 4 witnesses to give evidence in the matter and relied heavily on what is called identification evidence, which is used by the prosecution in a criminal trial to identify the person who is alleged to have committed a crime. It was the prosecution's case that Phillip attempted to rape and rob the then 14-year-old victim, who was clad in her school uniform as she escorted her younger brother to school. Phillip, who has a history of committing offenses of this nature, had fit the description of the alleged perpetrator as given to police investigators by the complainant. He was the prosecution's only suspect.
Visual identification cases are what is called suspect cases. These people didn't know the man at all. Identification evidence, children evidence, the length of time in which the case came before the prosecution are all what we call suspect categories of evidence. I have no difficulty if the evidence corresponds with the verdict so that there is no miscarriage of justice. I am not the one to say that the jury found the way they found. The issues were ventilated and the jury found that this young man, whatever else may have been said about him, whatever corners may have been in, how many times he may have been a victim of the law, in this instance, this case, did not stand up to scrutiny.
Although freed from the charges, Phillip has been returned to the Richmond Hill prison, where he continues serving a sentence in an unrelated matter for rape and robbery with violence. In January 2019, he sent police on a wild goose chase when he escaped lawful custody by jumping a protective wall at the Richmond Hill prison in broad daylight. At the time of his escape, Phillip was serving a sentence for the offense of robbery and awaiting trial for rape. He was eventually shot and recaptured 10 days later during a police operation at an abandoned building on Old 4th Road, St. George, and slapped with related charges. Phillip has 16 previous convictions, including 1 for the offense of manslaughter, and has been incarcerated for most of the last 8 years. For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.